Why I hate the word partner when it's used in a romantic context. I feel like I don't hear enough people talk about how partner has slipped into the public vernacular. It makes sense though. It's not like partner's a new made up word by the woke left or far right. I don't bring up the word woke for no reason. The original context for woke used to mean that you were awake and aware of the Matrix. Over the course of time, it transitioned from being awake and aware to meaning that you're gay and you love brown, lesbian Mexicans more than yourself. I believe the word partner is going through that same transitionary phase as of now, and it should be stopped for a multitude of reasons. Before we begin, all the gay YouTube shit, if you like my content, please like and subscribe, but only if you genuinely liked it. It seems that a good portion of Americans have started to use the word partner in place of traditional roles used for describing relationships. I have an idea as to why that's happening, but I'll elaborate more on it later. For now, I want to focus on what these terms are and why you should continue to use them. If any of you all know anything about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I'm kind of basing this same thing around that. Instead, it's Cow's hierarchy of relationship phrases. At the bottom of the pyramid, which I would like to call the subhuman phrases, is where the worst relationship phrases will go. There is nothing more low and embarrassing to be called in a relationship. Is this relative to how the Maslow's hierarchy of needs works? No, but fuck it, it's a pyramid. Fuck you. Quite frankly, I would be insulted to be called any of these phrases in any situation of a relationship. At number 1, we have baby mama, baby daddy. To be a father or a mother is a wonderful thing in life, and to label it as bluntly and insulting as this is, it's unforgivable. It's like if you were to call your mother birth giver instead of mom. The blatant disrespect is enough to put it this low. The people who use this term are either black or they're ghetto white people. Next on the list, we have situationship. And I've never heard of this fucking word before until I was doing research for this video. But it's basically like a relationship with no set rules, boundaries, limits. And clearly there is a lack of respect for you as well. This is basically friends with benefits, but there's no commitment, and that's kind of, it's fucking redundant. We have the word of honor, partner, especially if it was used in any fucking poly situation at all. I believe using this word as an all-encompassing way to describe all levels of a relationship is not only retarded, but it devalues relationships subconsciously. Alright, and now we move on to the next tier in the hierarchy, and we have some normal terms. Boyfriend, girlfriend. A classic, tried and true tell of your relationship status. When I hear someone being referred to as this, I usually assume that their relationship is in the early stages, as you really wouldn't refer to a recent lover as anything deeper than just that. Couple. Honestly, I thought I had more terms for this placement, but oh well, moving on. Serious phrases. While not at the very top, these phrases are well known and were commonly used before the slow infection of partner. Fiancé, a step up from boyfriend and girlfriend. The relationship has been given enough time to mature, and this is the fruit of its labor. The lovely couple seems to be getting more serious and more committed to one another. The best part is, this term is gender neutral. There's already a gender neutral role for the special little goober in your life if you're that type of person, you know. So, yeah, I mean, it's a classic. You don't refer to somebody you've just gone out with as your fiance. So, fucking A tier if we were doing a tier. Oh, damn, I should have done a fucking tier list. Whatever, dude. Spouse. Spouse is not as common as fiance, but is still a very respectable term. I'd argue it can be placed here and at the the highest level, but I'm just going to keep it here since I don't hear too many people use it. Partners in crime. So this is kind of like the only acceptable use of partner in my book, and it's just because, I mean, you're committing crimes together. That's certainly a deeper love and trust, especially if it's, you know, your boyfriend, girlfriend, kind of like Bonnie and Clyde shit. But even then, still lesser than the final tier. The ultimate commitment. This is the pinnacle of the hierarchy. Husband, wife. There's no doubt about your relationship status with this phrasing, and this is the ultimate confirmation of love. A covenant between two people, a bond so deep that you have to go through divorce in order to officially break it up. I mean, what is there to say? Seriously, it's the GOAT when it comes to relationship quotes, phrases, words, whatever the fuck you want to use. So yeah, I mean, shit, S tier. Significant other. This one is just as strong and as powerful of a role, and it shows that your significant other is, well, significant. You don't use this lightly. These are terms you're not supposed to use lightly. They're only supposed to be used for the person who deserves it the most. And speaking of that, we have my soulmate, one of my personal favorites. It just, to be intertwined with one another at such a spiritual level must be so nice and so blissful. To look at the love of your life and only love her more and more as days go on. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's deserving of this high tier, dude. I love it. And then we have my better half. It gets the heart. To show the humility that, I mean, even though deep down you might not be the worst person, that you consider her your better half, that she completes you, and that she is worthy of that status. It gets the heart going, you know? And it pisses me off that we have such a plethora of beautiful words that can be used to describe the various stages of a relationship. And you just kind of boil it down to, oh, that's my partner. It's like if you were to describe everything you liked as just good. Yes, things can be good, but they can also be spectacular, amazing, inconceivable, awesome, breathtaking. I mean, all these words describe the same thing, and yet each of the words kind of conveys a different feeling depending on how you use it. Now, imagine this. You're looking at this 10 out of 10 girl. She's the most beautiful woman you've ever laid eyes on, and she gave you a chance. You eventually got married. She brought you up to new heights that you didn't even think were possible. You have a child on the way, and you couldn't be happier with the way life is going right now. Maybe your son will have the same blue eyes and golden locks like you. One can hope. Your wife surprises you with a reservation to a fancy restaurant. You asked her if she asked the receptionist about peanut oil, as any amount of it in your food would cause a severe allergic reaction. She sighs and calls the restaurant again. She always was so forgetful, but you love her regardless. You zone out for a few minutes, deep in thought, wondering what trials await you next in life. It's exciting, but it's also kind of scary. It seems the restaurant finally answers the phone. Your wife exchanges pleasantries and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry to call, but my partner was wondering if you serve your food with peanut oil." Why would she say partner instead of husband? Maybe it's because of modern social media doing everything in its power to normalize things that aren't normal. It should never be normal. But the media and corporations started doing it, so, why shouldn't you? Random Joe Schmoes telling you what language you should be using as to not offend anyone. Of course, since your wife is a lovely female, she will be empowered to use the correct terminology, even if it's incorrect and damaging, all because it makes her feel good for doing the right thing, and it strokes that ego. All the love, the struggle, the memories being devalued to a single word that means nothing. And yes, before anyone gets too pedantic with the, but your wife is your partner, teehee, got you. Yes, your wife is your partner, but you shouldn't refer to her as such. It makes light of your incredible bond that is marriage. And even if you're not married, stop using it. Fuck, we have other terms, dude. Till death do us part isn't just a saying. It's a notice and commitment to your better half, letting them know that your bond is deeper than any mortal bond. Again, like if you're in a marriage, don't say that. And the reason I fucking bring this up is because I saw a TikTok of this couple. They were so intertwined with one another. They knew each other so deeply. Had questions like, what would you do if your mom died? Or what would you do if this happened? And they just knew each other like the back of their hands. And instead of, the interviewer asking, saying like, what would your husband do if you died? She said, what would your partner do? And it ruined the whole thing for me, because these two are clearly on a deeper bond than what is being, what's being said, what's being shown. And then here you are just devaluing it to partner. And I think that's fucking lame. Also, another argument that I've been hearing coming up, Using terms like, I don't know, whatever terms they were talking about is like showing that you own that person or whatever. Like that argument's dumb as fuck. Cause yes, you do own your wife and your wife owns you if you're in a committed relationship. We as people are meant to be in serious one-on-one relationships. We were supposed to be monogamous. And I don't know if you've seen the studies on what happens to men and women when they have multiple fucking sex partners. But it makes it harder and harder to stay in a fully committed relationship because of that. You don't share your little gaming PC with 5 other random people you like because it's yours. It's not theirs. So why not consider the same thing with your wife? All the importance, the subtlety is lost when you say partner. So why do they, yes, I'm using they in that context, say partner? You know exactly the type of they thems I'm referring to. And it's because they don't believe themselves to be normal and thus must be given a special word that is all encompassing to them. After all, they know there's a social stigma around gay relationships or, anything that's not traditional. So they have to use non-traditional wording to describe their special circumstances. I mean, they could very easily say, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, but they don't, which is why they use the word partner instead. Not to mention, there's a clear lack of commitment with the word. But what about the non-binary? Dude, motherfucker, we are all guys or girls. I do not care about this non-binary. I actually don't exist. Shut the fuck up, okay? Shut up. My God. I hate how the world hasn't fucking normalized this stupid ass way of thinking. It's so much easier and more dismissive to say, oh, that's my partner, instead of, oh, that's my boyfriend, girlfriend. And to me, it's a subconscious way of saying that you're disposable or I'm not being serious with you, whereas other terms have more weight. When I think of the word partner, I think of a partnership or a collaboration. I think of a cop and their partner solving crime. I think of a streamer partnering with a brand. I think of brands partnering with other brands. It's supposed to be a mutual, beneficiary agreement. That's what it is. That's what the context of partner has always been. And I guess in some sense, they are right to call it partnerships, especially if it's just going to be a pump and dump and, nothing serious. But if it is something serious, don't use partner. Use the regular terms we already have. We don't need this, slow... Nobody talks about this. Seriously, I see nobody mention, the slow transformation from the traditional terms to partner. And it's really concerning because they're getting away with it. We should not be accepting this. We should be fighting back against that using traditional terms. There is a reason why it is tradition. It is stuck. It has worked. There's literally no need to change this. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. I don't think of a lifelong commitment between human beings when I hear partner. I just think of these weird homunculuses getting into relationships with one another. I don't think people who can commit to their gender should be allowed to retroactively rewrite the meaning of words based on their imaginary problems that are thrust upon us. Conversely, I don't believe we need to forego our traditional terms just because it's the right thing to do. Anyway, that's all. Like and subscribe. Yeah.